saw one like a week ago that came out like after the show was over. There it is. Tweet means everything is good. Everybody's just listening to fun music anyway. Welcome everybody. Live before lock, Friday, December 21st. Myself, Fast Eddie Fear. Here we go. We have not done a show together for like a week or so.
It's been too long.
Yeah.
It's been too long. It's been too long. We can do it after lock because obviously we have a busy day, but I'm told I need to school you for your disrespect to Carmen Electra. I don't know what that means. But
I mean, it's a coin flip for me. But the options were, who would you prefer to be with? Prime Pam Anderson or Prime Carmen Electra? No one's wrong in this. Everyone's a winner in the end.
Not picking anyone out of bed for eating crackers from among this list. That much is sure. Let me ask you a question. You're roughly familiar with like Attitude Era wrestling, right?
I am very much so. So
I'm extrapolating. You were a Trish guy.
I guess. I mean, not the same way that I would have been for those two, I guess. But yeah, she's obviously visually fantastic.
Of the divas, was there one you preferred to Trish? I guess is what I'm saying. Because I was
Tori.
Yeah, okay, but that's okay. So you're
same
into
genre.
You're into a certain blonde big boob model.
Yeah,
which is
very
not
similar
atypical.
Genre.
I don't think you're a strange man for this. I don't think you're significantly departed from normalcy here. Okay,
give me Bertha Faye.
You have a type, sure. Get on that. There you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
that's exciting. More of a Lita guy myself.
Yeah, and I'm in for that one too. It all depends where the night's going, you know.
Okay. Was it one more sober, and the more you get lit up, it's something else?
Yeah, you're gonna have an entirely different night, one way or the other, from start to finish. Neither good nor bad. Josh confirmed China fan in the chat.
Oh boy, don't watch her porn video if you haven't done it. I made that mistake, and that's a.
We don't have to dive into it, but I have also seen it.
Oh God, one night in China. X-Pac, what have you done?
Oof.
What have you done?
A lot of drugs.
Yes. Accurate statement. Well done, sir.
So, a couple plugs right out of the gate. Shout out to Thrive Fantasy. We'll take a look at some props as we go through the show. We also want to plug us. Live Before Lock is the promo code. 7-day free trial if you use that code. You could use it on any package we have, including packages with Fantasy Cruncher. And why wouldn't you want to do that? It'll cost you absolutely nothing. Also, like this video. You should be doing that as soon as you get here, one way or the other. Comment after the video is over. Doesn't count if the comment goes in the chat. Has to go in the comment section. You have the opportunity to win a free month of Premium All Access, and it gives you an entrant into the Premium All Access annual giveaway that I will be announcing Christmas morning. Can't really beat any of that stuff. I think we're good on plugs. This slate has become quite the, I don't know what word I want. The bugaboo? I have no idea. I'm looking for a word, but at this point in time, on Friday at 6:08, I don't have it. I just simply don't have it in my head.
It's glorious, I think is what you're looking for.
We have one place to start, in my opinion.
Toronto?
Even though we don't really have the information we need, and I don't really think that we're going to get it. But we need to talk about Lakers-Pelicans.
Okay, I want to talk about Toronto more, but let's do those 1 and 2. That we have plenty of time for both of them.
Well, if you've got Toronto thoughts on your head, then let's hit Toronto first.
Well, we
do have a bunch of news coming out of Toronto as well.
Right, and that game does, obviously they both lock in 50 minutes for some of you poor players like yourself. But for many people, they can sort of handle the other one later. So just giving them a little more time to deal with the Toronto news.
No, that works for me because there's a lot of Toronto news to talk about.
Yes, there is. So just to catch up here, Ibaka won't play, Lowry won't play, Danny Green won't play. That's the butcher's bill.
The Danny Green news came out in my prep of getting On the Contrary recorded and getting on here. So that one I didn't know. Congratulations, You just broke news for me. Let me get my stuff updated. Not that was that is 30 minutes, so.
Right. No. That is now Delon Wright saying, "Hey, how you doing? You're a FanDuel guy, right? 3,900.
Yeah,
get
he's
me
a
in
no-brainer.
here. Get me in here." Like he's projects for, I have him a point less than Fred VanVleet, and he's shooting guard, not point guard, and like $1,600 less.
And shooting guard is not a great spot tonight, really.
Right. Well, the top end is that entire that whole DeRozan Oladipo thing has me like, hey,
They have me nervous though.
How you doing?
Oladipo's been so bad lately.
He was hurt, brother. He was hurt. He got a little more rest now.
He's
getting ready to go out there and assert himself. They don't play again tomorrow. The Raptors do, by the way.
They do indeed.
There's yet another. Oh God. So the way this slate gets destroyed real quick is this is still the Cavs, who I'm not sure if the best 5 on the Cavs beat the worst 5 guys on the Raptors. Like if you go,
did you hear me today say that?
You're right, Larry Drew. Pick our starters, and they're like, okay, you're going to play Boucher, C.J. Miles, that guy selling popcorn. Like, I still think the Raptors have a fighting chance here.
I brought that up this morning to Adam. I was like, do you think the second best 5 for the Raptors are better than the Cavs? He was like, yeah, absolutely. And I was like, yeah,
second 5 I don't think is close. I'm giving you bottom 5. I'm giving you 8 to 12. Yeah. And I'm saying, this is interesting here. But, yeah, very true. Their 8 to 12 would be Malachi Richardson, Lorenzo Brown, OG Anunoby, Greg Monroe, and Boucher. It's gonna...
Whoever Jordan Lloyd is, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Jordan Lloyd. I don't know if he's with the team. I think maybe down the 409. But
yeah, he played 3 minutes on November 21st. He just happens to have played in the last 30 days.
There you go. Got in there, stud. But yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting question. But that's just a lot of minutes and usage to go around in what's a slow matchup, but a matchup in which these guys are going to put up 100 points. And, Kawhi may get – like, I really like Kawhi at this point. Like, I understand the price isn't great. You're looking at 10-4 over there. I think DK is 9-5. But, like, there's a Bacchus. It's really hard to see, especially Yahoo. I don't know. Maybe just lock in this team and then relook going into 7:30. Just be like, give me $10 Van Vliet, $10 Delon. I don't know what Kawhi is. He's like 40. It's like 23 for Pascal. And be like, okay, I'll check this out again later. $10 Greg Monroe, optional, but permissible.
Yeah. Oh, God. It's weird because all of these guys being out, Lowry being out, Danny Green, whatever, I agree that clearly makes Kawhi seem better on the surface. He still doesn't even have to try to take this game over. That's the craziest part of it all.
You just be like, Delon, you go get him. It's a back-to-back. I'm going to take her easy.
Like, they're still just better regardless. He could sleepwalk through this game, play 30 minutes, and Toronto's not going to have to worry about it.
Yeah, but there's not really anyone on this team I'm like, all right, so I don't want to play Lloyd, Richardson, or Brown. Like, we actually have a pretty decent simulacrum, if you will, for this game that took place, I want to say, first week of December. They played, now, not this many dudes were out, but Cleveland played Toronto with Lowry out.
Yeah.
And you got 55 out of Kawhi, and Van Vliet started and disappointed at like 25, 26. But Ibaka was in, and Danny Green was in. So, I don't know. Certainly the bargain guys seem exceptional for me. I think you get something to the order of if this game stays close. And it's worth pointing out, this is the third time they've played this year. The other two are fairly close. Toronto won both games by 12-ish, give or take a point either side, I think. So, that doesn't mean a ton here, but, we're now yanking out several Raptors, and at least there's a decent chance the game stays close. I'll put it that way. All hands on deck. You would think this would be a punting, but... this many guys out, I think there's a reasonable chance it stays close. And it's hard to imagine you're not getting there with 36 minutes of Van Vliet and 33 minutes of Delon Wright, especially, and some significant amount of Kaiwi, and especially Kaiwi? I'll go with Kaiwi. That's what I'm going to call him now, with Kaiwi, and then Shakam, who does certainly exceptional things when you have Ibaka out, or best when Kawhi is out, but still nice with half the team missing. Like, Feels good. Feels good.
Yeah, the whole scope of it. Honestly, that Danny Green news might be the most important news.
Yeah, that made it just like, okay, now it makes Delon Wright exceptional.
Yeah.
Delon Wright is very near a point per minute player, and you're in a tremendous matchup here. And he profiles very similar now to Fred VanVleet, and just costs $1,500 less. So he's probably my first man in. Like, I can build a lineup without Siakam and feel fine. I can build a lineup without Ibaka, or without Kawhi and feel fine, without Van Vliet and feel fine, but Delon Wright, I'd want to get over the field on, especially because I don't think they've yet said he's starting And I'd be surprised if he didn't, though he'd still be exceptional if he didn't. So I don't really.
He might be the best play. Yeah, like you said, first man in. Like he might be the best play on the entire slate relative to his salary.
At this moment, I think he is. Yeah, no, not most gross points. Yeah. I will take him under, say, Giannis.
Sure.
Who I don't particularly like, by the way. I don't know if you have a strong Giannis take here, but we have a lot of a sample size here. They played this year. They obviously ran out a 7-game series in the post game last year. I've watched a lot of this Celtics team handle Giannis, and they do a pretty good job. And I have him projected for 55, which is fine. 55 is not going to kill you, but I'm pretty shocked if he gets over 65. And whenever you pay that sort of number for a guy like Giannis, you're expecting to have some chance of doing that. And I think the chance here is on the low side.
Yeah, he wasn't someone that I was getting a ton of earlier in the day. But now with, LeBron being up in the air, AD being up in the air, it's sort of changed the scope of what I would have been doing on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I wouldn't expect myself to have had much of Giannis, given the ability to late swap. On FanDuel, he just becomes slightly more appealing because I feel like I kind of have less options. Or I have less confidence in my other options, at least.
Yeah, that seems right.
Because it's not a great spot.
No, I don't think it is.
Yeah. Oh, Toronto. I'm going to have too much of you.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's how this game goes sideways, that this Toronto team still beats the shit out of them. No one plays more than about 28 minutes because, they're on a back-to-back, and no one on, Cleveland is terrible. What's really interesting now is, I like the conversational format, by the way. Do we want to take a minute and talk to, we've had an email thread recently about how we here at Awesome have several hours of content every day and then several pieces of written material. So the slate is broken down over and over and over again by many quality minds, including yourself and Lofty and Adam and all the other guys on the team. So by the time we get here, rather than do a third, fourth, or fifth game-by-game breakdown, we certainly want to bring up any plays you and I are particularly high on, but the major purpose of the show to break down breaking news, try to most advantageously handle that situation, talk about price plays, talk about some game theory, and sort of do anything else other than that. So we're going to try to free flow, really explore the rehearsal space a little more. I just wanted to sort of point that out.
No, that's good. There are going to be things that we are not going to touch on as aggressively as we normally would have and try to jam it into this final hour. Like Bulls Magic is going to be a real tough sell to prioritize. But we could get there. Questions will come up.
Yeah.
Nothing is off the table, but we need to hit the heavy priorities. The stuff that would, if we had a word cloud that got built out of the YouTube chat, we'd hit the ones that are the biggest.
I enjoy a good word cloud.
Yeah. We should actually do that.
That's a nice concept. We really should. I was about to say, that's not that difficult. We could actually get a thing that read it and broke it down. But then you would just have people sitting there all day going vagina, 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 vagina. It's like, okay, here we go, 6:45. Apparently we have to talk about vagina.
Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. I don't entirely trust everybody to drive that in the right direction. We would need some sort of script that plugged in just player names and teams. Okay, so let's rank the Toronto guys in terms of comfortability. I don't think we'll have too much variance between FanDuel and DK, but we can point it out where it comes. We're obviously on the same page that Wright is number one with a bullet.
Yeah, and I think number 2 for me would be Pascal.
Ooh, really? That's not what I expected. Not that obviously, he's clearly still a fantastic play. That's not, I would have thought you were going to say Kawhi.
Well, I guess you said comfort. So comfort, yeah, okay. I mean, it's pretty shocking to not see Kawhi get you 4,500 here. So I guess it's 40, or rather 45. I guess it's a little more likely Pascal disappoints relative to value. But when there is more usage, one of the things I'm most impressed by Pascal this year is that when there is more, usage to go around, he really steps in. You see aspects of his game when there are other guys missing that are great, whereas he, plays the 4 and the 5, where he starts to handle the ball more, drives the length of the court. He has it's great that he has this really well-rounded game that you don't see 75% of the time, and then you have either Kawhi or Kyle out, and all of a sudden his play becomes so much more varied and impressive to me. So I've really enjoyed watching him. So I guess I'm a bigger fan of the Pascal play with the ownership low and the greater chance that I think he savages his ownership. Like, I think you have a better chance of getting 50 out of Pascal than you do of getting 80 out of Kawhi,
Sure.
which would be sort of proportionately ass-kickery plays.
Yeah, I think now that this news has come out, Siakam sort of like fades into the ether as much as he can.
Yeah, that takes it away from him, and it's really interesting because like you're on FanDuel. I really like Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah,
like it's a tremendous matchup. LeBron might not play, which would help. All the centers have apparently been making out in the locker room because they're all sick. They've all got mono at the same time somehow. Literally, JaVale is out. Tyson Chandler and Zubac are questionable with an illness. So we got 41 minutes or 43 out of Kuzma last game. Yeah, I have him projected for 42 minutes right now against the Pels, missing some of their better bigs. Yeah, I'm in. Like, the backcourt's going to be a goddamn mess because Ingram's back and Rondo's back. And if you want to take a piece of this game, like, I'm not sure how comfortable we can be that Walton doesn't just go, oh, Lonzo, you've been amazing, but let's pull you back to 28 minutes or something, which will annoy the piss out of me to make room for Rondo. But I don't know what they're going to do necessarily with the minutes back there, but in the front court, there's nobody there. So you're literally talking about, Kuzma getting to play the 4 and the 5 for 40-odd minutes. I don't think the ownership is that high. I don't know if you have the projection up in front of you, but I'm pretty geeked up for Kuzma tonight. And again, I'm not a big Kuzma stan. I'm probably lower on him in the year than I should have been, certainly, but relative to other people, I'm usually pretty low on Kuzma, but the price is down too. Like, he was 8K, and 8K made sense. I didn't like him that much in tournaments because he was just getting 40 every day, but never got 50. And I was like, look, he's great in cash. There was, 2 weeks there where his game logs were literally 39, 44, 42, 45, 41. Like, he was just doing it every single time. But now he's 7,200 and ideal game environment and half the team missing. Like, okay, now he feels pretty great in cash and not dreadful in tournaments.
On our last update, he was 9% on FanDuel, 7% on DK. Now, that was obviously before all of this Raptors news hit, so that'll wiggle slightly.
Right, no tier starting.
We do have some late-breaking news. Nothing terribly interesting, but Cam Payne out, Jabari Parker out.
Siakam starting at center. They're going small, baby. So they're starting Fred, Delon, Kawhi, OG, and Pascal, hot to 5.
Yeah, I love 4 of the 5 there.
Yeah, OG, it's like, okay, well, he's going to watch and hopefully make some corner three. Like, OG's not out. He's 33 or whatever the hell. I'm sure he's the minimum on Yahoo, and it's probably close to the minimum, if not on it on FanDuel. But
if he's not the minimum on Yahoo, I no longer understand Yahoo.
It's like, what is life?
Fred VanVleet's the minimum on Yahoo.
Fred VanVleet's the minimum somehow. If OG, yeah. So, on Yahoo, I'm like clearing everyone else out of the 7 o'clock spot, and you just start VanVleet right. Siakam. After that, salt to taste. Certainly get your Greg Monroe out at this point.
Yeah, he's no longer necessary. Well, I mean, it's not appealing that he's not starting, but you have value elsewhere that's better than Greg Monroe now.
Right. I mean, you can do it's not out of play in tournaments, but just the vestigial ownership from people who won't make the news for 625 news. So he's going to end up being 9% owned. And I would rather play Robert Williams. I'd rather play Chris Boucher. I'd rather play some number of other guys. Although I guess Chris Boucher gets a bit of a bump down too with Pascal starting at the 5. It's just less big minutes available.
God, this Bulls news is ugly, but I have to fix it.
Yeah. So I expected Jabari to be out. They just don't want to play him, and he just doesn't want to play for them. So he's like, "Yeah, coach, I got the sniffles."
Yeah, I'm gonna sit back here and collect $20 million.
$20 million. Like, that's a good. Like, it's hot. They feel worse than he does. Like, he better not be bitching too much. Just be like, you understand that. You're pissed because, we're like derailing your career. It doesn't look good. And we gave you expectations. And I get all that, but you're getting $20 million and we're paying $20 million. You're getting nothing, literally nothing except to look like assholes. So I don't think you should be the guy who should be really up in arms here.
What more does he want?
I play some defense. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I am to some degree sympathetic. Like, I've done an ACL in one knee and 6 other injuries. Yeah, it takes a while to come back, and lateral movement is a bitch. So, all right, I'm feeling you there. But what do you want him to do? You are a shit defender. Like, you Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You are that bad. Like they deserve all the bullshit they're getting for ever thinking that, yeah, we're gonna start Levine and Jabari Parker on the wings was ever going to work. Like that would literally be one of the worst defensive starting 2-3s in the history of modern basketball.
Yeah.
Like
they were turnstiles.
Yeah, there was just no way that was ever going to work. So like one of them you can absorb. There's usually a guy you can hide on, whatever. Two guys like that, no, you weren't winning a game. Like that was going to go badly.
I love that I was like, oh, we're probably not going to touch on Bulls magic. Immediately get 2 pieces of Bulls news. Does that open anybody up for the Bulls for you?
It makes you like, well,
$3,600 Shaq Harrison now.
Yeah, I mean, Shaq Harrison it's fine if you want to do it. For you, it would be because he's a steals god. I don't know what his steals per 36 are, but I guess they're 4. Like he is an incredible, because it was really funny. He was a really good defender. It was funny when he got expurgated from the Suns, where they were like, "Wait a minute, that guy played defense. Get him a plane ticket.
Yeah,
he's making everybody else look bad. Out of town, yeah." But
otherwise, I don't really see it as any impact, even though they really did have to fill those minutes.
No, not. I mean, Chandler Hutchinson is in, I think, or Hutchison. Sorry, there's no first hand on him. No thanks. Okay. Like you're looking at potentially picking up a couple extra. It'd be a boost for Markkanen if you wanted to play Markkanen in this spot, which you really like. I want to like somebody from this game. Aaron Gordon's price is way the fuck down.
Yeah.
Vooch, like I love Vooch. I have Vooch projected for 50 on the nose, 50, 5-0, and that's nice and all. But you know, Towns and Drummond and Cantor, and it's just, yeah. I do want to point out, people had a lot of John Collins questions. I will put it this way. The last time the Knicks and the Hawks got together, the starting power forward for the Hawks was a young man named Amari Spellman, and he put up 46. So, yeah, I think John Collins can put up a number. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Like, that was Amari Spellman, who's not incredibly good at playing basketball. So
this game's terrifying to me.
Knicks and Hawks?
Yeah.
Oh, God, so many ways that shit can go sideways.
I mean, I'm pretty confident that I like Cantor more than just about anything on this slate, and that makes me so unhappy.
Yeah. Yes, as it should. Your trepidation is well founded, my good man. It's terrifying.
These two teams are just so bad.
Cantor I feel great about. Like, yeah, I can show some other numbers that you exciting. You know, Tim Hardaway Jr., revenge. They played twice this year so far. He had like 48 and 52. I
mean, if anybody has ever played Tim Hardaway Jr. and thought like, I feel really good about this tonight,
he's so good for that 50. Yeah, you're not.
It's just not a thing.
Yeah, there's a reason I didn't bring it up at the top, because it means absolutely nothing to me. Like he's just too well priced on. Like you're a FanDuel guy. I would have a lot of me some Cantor and Hardaway. I'd have a lot of Vonleh.
Yeah,
you know, Vonleh was really good in both these matchups. One starting, once off the bench, but he had like a 40 burger and a 35 run. Again, it's just a fast environment. All these guys who are, good rebounders. Dedmon at his price is probably my least favorite of the sort of core bigs we're talking about here, but I like Vonleh. I think Knox is certainly in play just because they're giving him a bucket of time. Moutier is expensive as hell, and I like him more than I have almost any other day this year, which feels terrible. Like, that doesn't feel good. We're going to raise his price. I like him more.
It is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't ever see his price getting to where it was in October.
How would one? I mean, to be fair, the entire year, Fizdale's been on his jock. Like, he would not play for 3 games, and he'd be talked about in the press conference. He'd be like, I'm just giving him some time to, mellow, get some experience, watch some games from the bench. But he's going to be, and you're just like, what the hell is going on with these guys? But the Fizdale has a big Woodrow for him. I don't know what to tell you.
Since we're talking about the Knicks, I'm going to hop to Thrive for a second.
Ooh, nice segue.
Speaking of Tim Hardaway Jr.,
really nice.
100 points for the over or the under. Points plus rebounds. You have a guess off the top of your head?
Yeah, give me, I'm going to say 34.5.
Points plus rebounds, that's it? 30 something? What?
Yeah, I said 34.5.
Just making sure I heard you. Is that metric or imperial? Or 21.5 is the line.
I'll take the over.
Yeah, I bet.
I assumed they were going way over to make it interesting, but I probably would have projected it for like 29. Like I think 22 and 6, 28 even. So
Yeah.
I guess I went a little nuts there, but
We're on the same page here, by the way. I'm not setting you up for anything. I'm way above that number as well.
I mean, it's a pretty ideal environment. I think we saw a couple ceiling games. I wouldn't project them for more than about. I think if I'll guess what your projection is in your model for Tim Hardaway. I will say your projection is 35 and a half.
I'm lower than that. I'm at 26.5.
Wow.
But that's still, a full 5 above the line, which makes it still a no-brainer over.
Yep.
He's someone that just generally gets a pessimistic outcome since he's so volatile.
Yeah.
Like his median projection is generally not all that awesome for anyone. He's either going to crater or, be a 50 burger. So.
Yep.
Ooh. All right, I think we got to do it now. We're at the peak. It's 6:30.
Yeah.
We got to walk through. We got to walk through Lakers Pels.
Do it to it. Let's talk.
All right, we'll start with the LA side. Do you expect LeBron James to play today?
I do not.
Okay.
He has not, to my knowledge, rested yet this year. There's obviously a lot of sickness going around in that locker room.
How many straight games has he played then? He didn't miss a game last year.
That's correct. He did not miss a game last year, so he's played to some degree at least. Let me confirm he hasn't sat this year. I can't think of it off the top of my head, and that strikes me as the kind of thing that I would remember offhand. But
between 82 in the regular season, every playoff game last year, this regular season, that's like 140 or something straight games. Just ballparking. Not to mention that he closed out the season prior to that playing easily 20-something.
He sat 2 preseason games, if I recall. I've confirmed he hasn't sat this year, and he hasn't sat last year. So the Lakers are 18 and 13, I think. So that's 31, and 82 is 113. And their playoff run last year was 18. And so, yeah, he's played 150, 155 consecutive games.
Jesus.
So, yeah, I think they probably, if it's close to enough that they gave him questionable, I imagine he packs in a rest. Now, I don't know if there's, if he's sitting somewhere with Anthony Davis and they're like, you want to do this or not do this? Because if one of us goes, the other one's going to look bad.
I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Both being clients of Clutch Sports.
There you go. Wouldn't shock me if there was a text.
Yeah.
You want to do this or not do this tonight? And just like, how you feeling? Like, you want to sit, like, I honestly think one of them plays and the other one doesn't play. Looks a little bad for the other one. Yeah. So I don't think they're completely non-correlated entities. Like, I think if Anthony Davis is out, it's more likely LeBron is out, and vice versa. Even if there isn't some collusion coordination, one may just be waiting on the other one. LeBron's going to sit. All right, then we'll let Brow sit again. It's not an insane narrative. So I do think it is a little more likely they both play than one plays.
Okay. I do not disagree whatsoever with that statement. I actually expect them to play.
Okay.
But as we've talked about before this show went live, I've been really bad at predicting whether people play or not in late games.
Yeah, but I've been amazing at it, and we agree. So I'm going to overrule your negative energy with my positive aura.
Per someone on SportsCenter, a source told him the guess is LeBron will play. So, I mean, that's...
Well, that got everyone with Kawhi the other time when on the first day of that back-to-back when some assistant coach was like, yeah, as far as I know, he's playing. And people were like, oh, that guy said it. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think that guy knows shit.
That's what I bid on.
It's like, oh, that the third assistant equipment trainer says that he cleaned his jockstrap like normal. So, yeah, let's power that guy in.
They must have flung like a little slice of pizza on a fish hook right across my face because that's what I would have bit right on.
That's funny.
Okay, so if we're saying under the assumption, if LeBron plays, I find the rest of LA relatively unappealing. Kuzma is still fine, but we still have to worry about Rondo news and Brandon Ingram. They're both. I can't imagine we really want any other part of LA.
I still would legitimately be a big fan of Kuzma. Yeah. And again, I really think he's one of the more solid plays tonight. Like, he's in my top 5 plays, especially on FanDuel, where he's same price as DK, 7,200. Like, he's playing like an 8K player, and now he's in an ideal matchup with, we will presume, some of the currently 4 questionable players out. Yeah. All 4 of which affect his minutes. Well, I guess Zubac being out would be irrelevant if both. Oh no. McGee is actually already out. So yeah. So like his minutes are gonna be affected here anyway. So I really can't overstress how much I like. I mean, I'm sure he'll suck horrible balls tonight since he's not a guy I normally, take a lot of interest in. But yeah, big interest in him. And then people are saying, on Yahoo, who do you prefer, John Collins at 29 or Kuzma at 27? Yeah, I'm a fan of both those numbers. Yeah. So I don't even know where to go there. Probably Kuzma for what I perceive as lower ownership, although that may be exactly how ownership plays on Yahoo. I'll be lying if I said I had a big.
It's not it with the way they're putting in overlay for those tournaments. Ownership is not really super important, especially with the soft pricing.
Well, yeah, you should be playing. Again, I won't go into the full 9 yards, but today they went to the third overlay tournament, so now it's a total of I think $160 you should put down. You should do it no matter what else you're doing.
Yep.
Like it's just the difference between $1 you put in on DraftKings brings back an average of 85 cents, assuming you're an average player. $1 on Yahoo, assuming you're an average player right now, brings back $1.33. Yeah. Take your. I mean, it's like 0.85 versus 1.33. Like it's not a tough. I mean, it's better than a 50% differential better. Like, yeah, you should do that.
I wish that I could play it right now.
I'm angry I can't do that. Yeah. I'm actively angry. For some reason, not playing the whole year. In the back of my head, my one excuse for not playing DFS that hasn't made it feel not too bad is like, well, I could have been losing. Like, this could have been a great thing. I like what I'm doing. I get paid for this job, and I enjoy the touting, and maybe I'd have been a losing player this year. I don't think I would have been, but it was possible. And this is just like, well, shit, it's free money. I can't have my free money. Fuck that.
There's no way for me to manually manage those lineups and do this show at the same time, or I would just end up, they'd be burned.
They have late swap. You should get in there right now. I don't think they're filled. They were overlaying more than the guaranteed overlay, by the way.
Christmas is getting my money for sure.
I'm just saying, put in Van Vliet, Delon, Kawhi and Siakam at point guard, small forward, power forward, and guys from the 10:30 game. Enter your lineups. Max enter it. I'll talk for a couple minutes, and you can do that. And then it's just you're denying yourself like $100.
I have to make a deposit as well. I got locked down.
And then swap it around.
I got locked down earlier today. I had to call in the big guns and be like, "Hey, what happened?" They're like, "Oh, you deposited from the same account for 2 separate accounts." I was like, "I certainly did. My wife is now playing with you."
Yeah, they're telling me those accounts aren't close to full. So if you want to do that, I will take the reins for 3 minutes. But I'm literally saying you can, because it has late swap, deposit, enter those 4 guys from Toronto, gap. Figure it out at 7:05 when we're off the air.
Yeah, I don't have the energy in me anymore.
Okay.
I'm willing to forego that money, even though I know it's a horrible decision. Everyone else should be doing that though, for real.
All right, so let's so let's assume LeBron is out, because we said if LeBron is in, I still like Kuzma quite a bit. I think LeBron makes a brilliant tournament play. Yeah, like I really would love to be playing tonight and here at 10. I think it's a 10:30 game, so I'd love to hear it. 10:26. LeBron will play, but give me 3% LeBron against Narlands.
I mean, he was my number 1 guy with a bullet when today started. I mean, he still is in theory, but he's not in practicality.
So So Mirotic is, I believe, technically doubtful, but we can presume he will not play. Let's not go into Mirotic possibilities.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. Let's finish that example. So LeBron doesn't play. Talk to me what you think about this game.
Kuzma, obviously, as we've touched on. Have we seen anything on the sort of run we should expect from Ingram and or Rondo?
I did a good search on Walton comments. I've got a lot of presumed minutes limited, but not nothing firm.
I mean, Rondo at 49 or 5K on DK, I'm not really interested all that much. I find it really hard to believe that he just comes in and plays like 30.
Yeah, no, not Rondo. Ingram would be...
Ingram's the guy that you have to really think about.
Right. Yeah, no, the format's obviously ideal. Has not really played well next to LeBron. They both have that sort of same, I need to be handling the ball, and they don't really augment each other that well a lot of the time. So Ingram's the interesting one for me. I would definitely, I mean, this is all late swapitude. So this is all Yahoo. This is all DraftKings. So we should be spending some time doing some nice, Google alerts and searching for things.
Yeah.
Find
What
out
do you
here.
what do you think the most minutes you could see out of Brandon Ingram tonight if LeBron sits?
36.
Yeah, that would have been my exact answer.
Yeah,
And I'd say
like
more likely like high
32.
20s. Oh,
I
I was just
I
meaning in
think like
general.
even 32. I mean, I have no reason to believe he's specifically hindered, and they didn't play yesterday, and they were thinking about the Wednesday game, and I think if LeBron is out, they just sort of need him more. I mean, they obviously don't need him, like they can just lose the game, but I would probably project. I'll say 30.
What was his
30.
injury?
Oh God, I want to say. I don't recall exactly, so I will
I'm
look
gonna
up
beat
the
you to it.
turn. I think
Sprained
it's,
left ankle.
it was an ankle. Okay, he had the ankle because
That's the sort of thing that concerns me for minutes when people come back, when it's lower body, not upper body.
I think that's right. Yeah. So I mean, in theory, that's maybe you get lots of Rondo next to Lonzo because his was a busted hand. I think he broke his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So-
he's been. I mean, Ingram's been out for a while. His last game was first week of December, December 4th, December 5th, around there.
Okay,
So
right.
he's 2.5 weeks away. So
I'd have no problem with putting in Brandon Ingram once we get news that LeBron is out on DraftKings. No issue with it whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'd still prefer Kuzma, but he's probably second for me.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not terribly close. So do we have any interest in I mean, there's obviously going to be sort of some center roulette issues here. McGee is out. If Chandler ends up out as well, Zubac is going to play 20-something minutes. I think.
I mean, flat minimum.
Yeah. Beasley is still out. Like, there's just only so many dudes there. Like, if you're in the situation where both Chandler and LeBron are out, like, guys of any size who are playing for this team and healthy are Kuzma. Jonathan Williams, I believe, is still with the team. I'm not certain. He's been out of the rotation. But Zubac and Mo Wagner, and that's it. That's like guys bigger than 6'5", like Ingram, I guess. But there would be no bigs left with this team. That's it, I think. I don't think I'm missing any. So,
do you prefer Mo Wagner or Zubac?
Sorry?
Do you prefer Mo Wagner or Zubac in this case?
I would rather if Zubac is playing and starting, Zubac. If we have no news but Zubac is in, probably still Zubac. He should just still be ahead of Mo in the rotation. But that's interesting. In this matchup, Mo, his ability to shoot would be pretty useful. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, at the flat minimum, it's not so much that you're super worried about performance. It's who's going to play more.
Yeah. And at this point, it's like if everyone is out, you can play Lance all the way down to the 4. Lance becomes really interesting. If there's no LeBron, no Chandler, no Zubac, again, there's no one left on the damn team. Like, you're going to get 27 minutes of Lance, I think.
Yeah, and then you want that for sure.
Yeah.
It might look ugly, but you gotta.
Yeah.
I don't find Josh Hart all that appealing if it happens.
Someone's saying, how high would you be willing to go exposure on DK? We currently have him projected at 6%. I think I'd want about 10 times that.
Who?
Delon Wright.
It can't be updated then.
I wouldn't think.
It just updated. Well, DraftKings, I guess, is a little different for him.
Is he like 42?
I think he's 41, but let me double check it now.
Yeah, okay. Because the number on him I know came up there. FanDuel, where you can drop him and he's 39 and he's shooting guard. It's just like, yeah, all right, I'll have some of that, please.
Yeah, he'll be. It's a much different discussion on FanDuel.
He is 41 point and shooting eligible.
Yeah, I'd want a lot, like a lot.
Someone responded with nice. I had him at 60, so great minds think a lot. Yeah, he's not 100% for me because of the size of the slate. And again, I use that label very, very tenuously, but daddy like. I mean, I'm gonna. If you forced me to play a player 100% tonight, it would be Delon Wright.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. His cap for me is 65 on FanDuel. He's not near that. And I would want every single bit of it. Yeah.
After that, it might be Kuzma. If you told me I had to play 100% of a guy, a little scary, but
yeah. I mean, I get it. The Lakers are in shambles.
Yeah. It's just
40 plus minutes, not out of the realm of possibility.
I think if you have either Chandler or LeBron out, I project him north of 40. If either of those guys is out, I would have him at like 41 minutes.
Yeah.
He played 40 something last game. I'm nearly certain. I will check, but last game he played 43.
So many minutes.
Yeah. Against Brooklyn in a close game. And shot badly, but he took 21 shots. He only made 9 of them. You know, he was only 2 of 8 from 3, had no blocks and 1 steal, and was still good for 43 fantasy points. And his price dropped $300 since then, and it dropped $500 since the game before that. So, yep, Daddy likes.
Okay.
I've now officially spent more time talking about Kyle Kuzma on this show than every other show this year combined.
I think today is warranted.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Pels side of this.
Yes, please.
Anthony Davis, what are your thoughts? Because it's craziness.
Well,
how much do you love him if he plays?
Everybody poops, as the children's book says.
They do. Sometimes during games.
Yeah, rarely during games, but you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. So he's 11-7. He would be my top projected scorer on the whole day. Agreed. If he played. And I would love him a lot. Like, I really, this is a good note every day, but as far as your Yahoo lineups, as far as your DraftKings lineup goes, put guys in the right goddamn spots.
Yeah.
Like, you should not have any 7 o'clock players in the bottom 4 slots unless stacking the shit out of Toronto is forcing you to do that. Like, if you have Delon Wright and Fred VanVleet, and there still shouldn't be a way, really. If you had both those guys and Ibaka and Siakam and Kawhi, they'd still fit in your 1-4. So no, there's really no great reason to ever have anyone in your guard forward utility spot starting at 7. So don't do that. So you have the chance to play Anthony Davis at a well too low ownership.
Yeah, if you get word that he is in, like before you get word about LeBron, he's the priority.
Yep. I would even, it's $800 cheaper for Bron, but yeah, I'll go with Anthony Davis. Especially if, God forbid, like Randall is out. Like Randall right now looks like a windmill slam. Like he was Lakers plus environment, Lakers missing all their bigs, plus environment, Mirotic out, plus environment, and possible Anthony Davis sitting. Like I was just getting a little silly. Like he's alternately described between likely to play, probable, and game time decision, depending on who you look at. But you know, again, and also the DK price they made way the hell too cheap. His number came down. He was over 8K for a while. So again, he, like Kuzma, he's in the nut spot. Let's drop $800 off his price. He's $7,500. That's really hard to get away from.
Would you rather play that's just specific, basically for me. I'm asking you in either or. Randall, I believe he's 8,700 on FanDuel, or Enes Kanter at 6,700.
I would rather play Kanter now, just because it is close. I mean, yesterday you were I only talked to a couple people. It was my first day off in 9 days, but I spoke with a couple people about bundling lineups yesterday. And my favorite center on FanDuel, and this worked out really well, was DeAndre Jordan, and I think it was yours too.
He was indeed. Someone
told me, and that worked out for you. So you were trashing your injury predictive ability there. Worked out well for you.
I guess I am running hot now.
You got 1 in a row.
It's better than the 0 I had for the past week and a half.
I was at 0 in a row for the last 8 ties at times you tried, but they're both great. I imagine, maybe I would rather play Randall. It's very similar to playing DeAndre yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, just this guy is, I mean, he's not as cheap as DeAndre was. DeAndre also had the bonus of being a little cheaper than he should have been, and revenge and a matchup we really liked. There was a lot going there. And, but they had in common, but I think Randall is more likely to play, and as such, less likely to kick you square in the dick. Like, we have rose-colored glasses looking back at yesterday because DeAndre went. There was, I would think, I said I had him 60-40 to play, so there was 30-40% chance he didn't play, and that destroys your whole evening. So Randall, I think, seems more like 90% to play.
Yeah.
I guess it would come down to where we have the ownership. I would think we probably have Enes Kanter at like 35%. I would think we probably have Julius Randle at less than half that. So
We don't have anybody above 26 on FanDuel.
Is it Cantor?
No, it's not. We only have 2 people above 20. Neither of which are Cantor.
Are they either of them Raptors?
Nope. Yeah, the first one is Fred VanVleet.
Yeah, okay. Which, I'd be happy to get away from that at this point, I think, but that's fine.
Cantor is 7th.
At, then 16%?
15.
Yeah, at that point, I'll probably just play Cantor. Yeah. He's been unthrilling against the Hawks in the 2 games this year. Once he came off the bench, played 26 minutes and at 35. The other time he started, played 29 minutes and at 38 or something. But it's not like either of those kill you, and you can really use that couple grand somewhere else. And I think those are actually both below average production. And Mitch Robinson was in and even started for one of those games. And so yeah, without a significant ownership differential, I'm probably just going to put my Enos in and enjoy it.
All right, we've got 9 minutes left. Is there anything that we haven't touched on yet that you really need to talk about? Anybody we've missed?
In tournaments, I like LaMarcus Aldridge more than DeMar DeRozan. And for those of you who followed me every day this year, you'll know that is a unique spot. Third time this year that we got the Spurs and the Timberwolves getting together, and one time you got an absolute dick kicking by the Timberwolves winning that game by, I believe, 39. It was the absolute beating before the Spurs decided to get really good again. They've been really good for a while now. But I would go with Aldridge. He was phenomenal against Towns at least twice that I've seen in the last couple of years, and I expect the ownership to be absent. Yeah. And I believe had his best game of the year in the first time they met this year. The second time was the absolute beating. First time he had 60 or something. I believe the best Aldridge game this year came against the Timberwolves, and he had one very good game against them in the past also that I remember. And just there's a ceiling there, and I'm excited for his prices down at about 8K. And at 2% ownership, I'm somewhat interested in doing that. And I think people will be understandably more geeked up about the DeRozan decrease in price. I slightly prefer Oladipo to DeRozan at those similar prices. But I imagine that's a little bit colored by liking Aldridge a lot in this spot too. I would have to project DeRozan for a couple points more, but I still like Aldridge a lot in tournaments.
Okay.
Can we discuss the Boston Wings? Someone asked. You first. Go ahead.
Boston Wings.
Because they're minus several dudes, I guess, is the point. And Jaylen Brown's wicked cheap in your neck of the woods on FanDuel.
He is
41 or some shit.
He is. I mean, I guess I have some appeal there. I don't really have a lot of interest in Boston in general. Is Daniel Tice being my favorite guy there? Maybe.
Should be on FanDuel.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like paying up at power forward since I've spent half the show talking about Kuzma and now Aldridge, and there's John Collins, and there's so not necessarily a spot I'm looking to punt, but 4K Daniel Tice feels pretty good. I don't know if they've confirmed starting yet, but if not, that certainly is the expectation for me.
But outside of that, I'm not super interested really in Hayward as of right now. Hayward or Tatum or Brown's fine. If we're counting Marcus Smart as a wing, I'm still not super there. Is somebody standing out for you?
No one is I really want to do. I mean, it's again, they're minus a whole butt ton of bigs there and sort of into the wig. So they're just going to end up playing really small. So those minutes will, spread out like that. Obviously Robert Williams makes some sense in tournaments. Kyrie talked him up, which is never bad for you. He's 3,800 on DK. That's fun. Where do you come down on Kyrie, Kemba, and Lillard? I've been looking at that all day.
I prefer Kyrie of those three.
I do too, but I are really close. This is a situation in which all three of these guys have shown real upsides in the spot they're in. Kyrie, obviously, missed the playoff series I was previously alluding to, but the time they got together earlier this year had, I don't even remember, 55 or something, put up a monster game. You have Kemba in this spot. One of his early 60-point games this year was against Detroit, so it can certainly happen. And the ownership, I think, is lowest on him of the three. And this Lillard against this very same basically Utah team has thrown up 55, 60, 65 a few times. So really tough. But I think I agree with you. I have Kyrie on top of that trifecta right now.
Okay. Take a couple more questions from chat here. And there we go. Any preference? Kemba and Hayward or Nance and Cantor?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest appeal for Nance now would be I would just suspect I would have a massive amount of Raptors in my lineups, and if I have to play a Cav, I think that's where I don't know who's like Nance obviously makes some amount of sense based on the fact he's just been scoring great. Did you see the news that um Larry was considering starting different Cavs again today? That they were contemplating. He said he was thinking of different lineups again.
I saw someone mention it in Slack. I didn't really pay all that much attention to it when I saw it.
Just saying, we're gonna get. I have no idea. Jordan Clarkson starting at center or something. I don't even know what the plan would be at this point, but it would probably be among the guards. It would actually probably be on the back-to-back of 2 strong games. Probably Alec Burks sliding in, but not much to do there. But yeah, I guess I would say to you, who's your second favorite Cav after Nance? I mean, it's site dependent on DK for me. I think it's Chetty at 42.
It's probably Sexton for me on FanDuel.
46 or something.
It's something low.
It's something really low. Yeah.
I mean, favorite is a difficult way to put that one, I guess.
I like Collison. Someone just asked thoughts on Collison. I like Darren Collison a lot. Like, he's 4,500 on FanDuel. That's really nice in your neck of the woods. Like, there's an actual ceiling there.
He's super cheap.
Like, you don't need a super game out of him. You need, like, if you randomly get 12 points, 11 assists, a steal, and 2 rebounds, he's going to demolish that goddamn price.
Yeah, he's way too cheap right now. I just worry how much Oladipo affects him, but in tournaments, I mean, that's certainly a risk you should be worth willing to take. I don't know how to say that sentence. You are willing to take.
That was almost understandable. That's good.
3 minutes to go,
You're trying.
Barely. I'm going to put my lineup in if you could take a look at Slack right now.
Sure. I can take a look at Slack and answer some questions. What do we got here? So Kuzma over Cantor, people said. Yes, I would play Kuzma over Cantor, but I absolutely love them both and am not in any way shocked if he gets there, but I suspect your ownership is possibly a little bit better, especially on, places where you can't swamp. Is Kawhi a must in cash on DraftKings? Would seem like it. I don't know if there's any such thing as a must on a 10-game slate. Like, there's a lot of good plays, and if you ended up, like, I'm sure you could build a lineup with 8 cash plays. I really like in it that doesn't happen to have Kawhi in it, so must is a little bit misleading. But yes, it certainly seems like an incredibly strong cash place. Is Boucher a good punt? He is a risky punt with a metric ton of upside. Fox or Bazemore can't watch the show. Someone can feel free to type the response here. I do like De'Aaron Fox in this matchup, even though it looks like it should be quite difficult on paper. It has not been. He put up 45 the couple times this year that these two teams tangled and looked good doing it, and no ridiculous stat lines there. So all the Kings being back is a little bit of a downside there, but I would still stick with De'Aaron. Favorite high-priced center for cash? Yeah, when you get into those high-priced centers, for cash, I'm probably going to go with Andre Drummond. It's close, but I feel for cash, Drummond I feel a little better about than say, Towns and Vooch. So it would be Drummond over Towns and Vooch for cash.
Come on, FanDuel.
Having trouble loading something into something?
I have my lineup in. I'm running one last little peek.
All right. We are... touch on Okogie. Yeah, great on FanDuel. He's built for FanDuel because he does carry, a giant upside there, and certainly, could put up an absolute bagel in this situation. I mean, this game can go sideways, obviously, as we've seen in the past, but I am a big fan of Okogie, and even 3,300 on DK has gotten plenty of minutes the last couple games. We still have Teague out, so I'm just fine with Okogie, but especially thrilled to get a piece of that on FanDuel where you can drop it. That makes a lot of sense to me.
We are about to lock.
Nice.
20 seconds.
All right.
I'm anxious to see who breaks this slate. There's just so many balls in the air.
That's what she said.
That is what she said, from what I hear. It's going to be fun. I really wish that I would be even remotely close to awake for that Pels-Lakers game, if it actually goes down the way you would want it to.
Hey, you guys do that whole morning pod thing. Yeah,
I will not be seeing that one. I'll see I'll see some Raptors Cavs, which is not really that appealing. I'll put an eyeball on Knicks and Hawks, and also not that appealing.
The Yahoo $5 only filled 9.6K out of 15K with a lot of overlay to begin with. So if I understand that tournament took in 50 and is paying 100. If I got that right.
Yeah, that's
that seems good.
It's a good one to get into. Absolutely smash those Yahoo tournaments, both for the NFL on Sunday, everything if they do them again tomorrow, and then the millionaire on Christmas.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. I'm loading up some ownership here on the DraftKings.
Let's do it. 2 games to take a look at.
All right. Downloading, but just the first lineup I'm looking at. You got Fred at 26. Delon got up to 20.
Okay.
So people knew that. Pascal, 15. Nummy.
Yeah.
Nummerkins. That's exciting stuff right there. Yeah, and again, somewhat unsurprisingly, lots of Raptors up at the top here. We have
wow.
All right, DK ownership. Fred 26.5. Kawhi, and Daddy likes that. I'm fine with it at 26.5. Again, at the start of the day, it was a little bit fishy. There were ways it blew out. The pace wasn't that great. Again, we just did this game 3 weeks ago where they played the Cavs and Kawhi was out and the game stayed reasonably close and he played 30 minutes and had 25 fantasy points, which is fine. It's not going to screw you at your 5K, but when the whole team sits out, it gets a little better. Kawhi, 21%. Delon, 20.5%. Kemba, 20, which is interesting. I think that's higher than we projected, I would think. I'm just guessing.
Last update I had was 12.
Yeah, so 20, quite a number there. Larry Nance, 17. Pascal, 15.5. Again, I like that a lot. Reggie Bullock, 12. Reggie Bullock comes in over every day. And again, he's performing, but
he's been playing a lot of minutes lately.
Yeah, which is killing, all my other, I like talking about Langston and Stanley, and they're making it impossible. Blake, 9.3. Drummond, 6.4. That's really weird to me. On DK at those prices?
Yeah,
Blake, 50% higher than Drummond.
There was some Blake had the flu conversation earlier this morning.
Drummond did, I thought, which would explain it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm incredibly forgetful. I'm almost positive someone said Blake in chat this morning.
Oh, okay. Apparently, I mean, they might both.
Yeah. We might both be right.
Gregory Lamb, 6%. Gregory Lamb? Jeremy Lamb, 6%. Greg Monroe, that's where I came from. Greg Monroe, 5.4. Don't read 2 at once. Marvin Williams, 5. Jordan Clarkson, 4.2. Alec Burks, 4. Batum, 3.3. Chetty, 2.8. And Daddy likes that. I just random feeling you get a Chetty spot. It's not a 4.2. It's gonna happen at some point. Reggie 2.7, Colin Sexton 2.17, Cody Zeller 2%, Danny Green 2%. Congratulations, you played yourself. Had a half hour on that one. 2%.
Yeah.
Knocked off some significant rate there, boys.
God, I mean, I get it, and there's that many people in it. Some people just can't physically get back to the computer potentially, but
yeah, there's a lot of people who are like, oh, it's fine. I love late swap because even if I'm in a movie, I can handle it. No, you can't. I mean, even if you can basically handle it, you still don't handle it half as well as anyone who's paying attention and optimizing the move. You're just taking out an asshole and putting out a different
that person's probably not winning all that often.
Yeah, that's true. But again, it's an appearance thing. I will say my worst part of the take on the FanDuel no late swap plus drop the lowest score thing, which as a game designer I kind of dislike as a sort of an awkward hedge fix to a problem. Feels good. It feels good when you're like, oh, Tim Hardaway didn't play, but at least I could drop him. You're still screwed, but felt better.
Yeah. I've always liked the idea of, but it would become incredibly labor intensive. Everyone you pick gets a backup at a salary equal or lesser.
Yep.
But
sure. Oh, there's all kinds of, you're like, so when I got into my first game design jobs, which are now 15, 16 years ago, and I'm designing every game the way I want to play them. And they're all ridiculously difficult as shit with all sorts of horrible sub-rule 17 section B says that when this is they're all just complicated as fuck. And then literally it took me a few years to realize oh yeah, every successful game ever has been A, easy, and B, able to be fully understood, or at least the generic concepts within a few minutes.
Yeah.
Like, look at the games people play.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. So I'm, designing these complicated things. All right, there's 7 decks of cards. This is the power deck. This is the energy deck. This is the it's yeah. So yes, you could draw much more skill testing and immersive and interactive environments where I have a power. I have a forward backup and a guard backup and a whatever. But yeah, complicated.
Yeah. Rank everyone and then start getting priorities. It'd be ridiculous.
You can, when you put in your lineup, you may also enter a series of if-then statements.
Yeah.
Using basic coding. If this, then do that.
I mean, like, I would want to play on that site, but I'm not sure they're going to get the same sort of volume as FanDuel and DK.
Trouble getting people. I used to scream that at Victiv/StarsDraft/whatever. They were like,
wow.
We have 48 pages of why the best thing to do is draft 9, drop 2, redraft 3. And I'm like, yeah, but, basically the same thing. You're me 18 years ago.
Yeah.
That's complicated. People sit down and they read like, okay, for this you're going to draft 9 guys and score the top 7, and they're like, what? Why? Like, you just lose people who immediately go, I'm missing something. I know there's a way to do this right, and I know someone's going to do it better than me, so I want. It was like me with crypto. Crypto went hot, and I started looking at crypto, and I was like, yeah, I don't see how I'm better than anyone else. Like, I could do this, but I don't feel any kind of edge, so I'm not going to do it. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I know there's an edge here, and I know I don't have it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to someone else.
I'm going to tap out. Oh, wow.
You sound tired, man. You sound tired. I know being on the air with me is emotionally draining.
This was the least emotionally draining thing I did probably today. Not that I don't love all of my shows. A lot of production on the back end. Had to run some Christmas errands today. I got the parents coming into town tomorrow, so I also lots of balls in the air. And now I'm just kind of like, I really would enjoy the couch.
It feels like you're standing on your head all day, and you have lots of balls in the air.
I'm really excited for the next 4 days. It's basically just like an NFL show, and then a Christmas Day show, and like I'm good.
Yeah, I got to figure out what to do from. Oh, it did work. Okay, some Yahoo ownerships. You ready?
Yeah.
Here's our Yahoo ownerships. At $10, Fred VanVleet, 60% in the baller, and the largest of their guaranteed overlay things.
What's still on right? Because he's certainly $10, right?
Yes, he is $10. He would be 9.5%.
Oh my god! And if that's,
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just like, here's a great tournament, and it has late swap, and we're throwing overlay at you, and it didn't fill, so there's more overlay.
That's why you don't have to worry all that much about Yahoo ownership in these tournaments.
Yeah, exactly. This is the this tournament was their 100K baller, $5 to enter. It took in 9,645 entries. Doing some quick math, that means it took in $48,225, and will pay out $100,000. Oh, and by the way, Delon Wright was 9% on. So again, maybe worth your time. Kawhi Leonard 37%. Pascal Siakam 20.
Chad is saying that's because he's $11.
He is 11. That's right. He is.
Oh
11.
no.
That's no, you joke, but that is it. I bet you he's 15% or 18% if he's 10 or something.
Yeah.
I know 7 p.m. a month, but I forgot he was the extra $1.
He should have still been 60.
I myself or looked at that a lot, but Blake got up to 27%. I don't understand.
That I don't.
How much did I can click on him and see here? $34.
Is he also minimum salary?
That would explain. Is he also?
I'm having trouble keeping track.
Yeah, in both football and basketball, they for years now have had some very amusing. Wow, we should maybe reprice this guy. There was another site that was Draft Hub, I want to say, which is the one that said they were giving money to charity, and it turned out that charity was them. But anyway,
charity was a stripper.
They had a charity was a stripper named Ginger from the they had, for some reason, a bug in their algorithm, is the only way I can describe it, where Kristaps Porzingis did not move off the minimum for 7 weeks. And I don't know if anyone else remembers this, but if you watched my shows, I would just give them a shout out every show. Shout out, and like it was just him. Every other price changed, and they had almost identical DraftKings pricing, where the floor was 3,000 and the ceiling was like 12,000. And Kristaps got to 4,200 and sat there for 7 weeks in a row at the height of his prowess. So it's really funny where every day you're like, all right, shout out. And at 7 o'clock, let's take a look at Draft Hub. Kristaps Porzingis ownership fell today to 97.1%. Like
it becomes a scenario where it's just like, okay, this is just a game where you get 10. You have a salary cap of 190, and you have to fill these particular spots.
Yep. No, that is correct.
That's outstanding. Yeah. I'm gonna touch on one last thing before we get out of here. Stan in the YouTube chat says, this may sound dumb, but Yahoo has a legit fantasy site like DraftKings. Anybody cashed out from them? Yes, I've cashed out for them. Yes, they have a legit site. Yes, you should sign up through us.
Yeah. Yahoo, I don't know, but Josh will give you the link here in a second. But yeah, I cashed out through them many times.
I cashed out from them 3 days ago.
There you go. And again, if you're worried about a site that won't cash out, and I'm not going to use any names here, but the one that is tied to I think Yahoo is worth, counting all its subsidiaries, approximately $30 billion. Seems like the one I would be the least worried about paying out your money.
Yeah.
Yahoo is going to pay you out. FanDuel, DraftKings, pretty much going to pay you out. Yeah. And, I know the guys who run Fantasy Draft, I would give about 100 to 1 that they were going to pay you out. After that, you can start to have a conversation. But Yahoo, I would feel safe in my investment.
I think our promo code is Awesemo. I'm having trouble finding the link, and not
I think
just
it might be Awesemo DFS is the only reason I'm slightly hedging in here. But yep,
apparently I didn't star it.
Pascal with a dime to Kawhi. It begins.
Promo code is Awesemo. If you deposit your first, you get a $30 credit with your first deposit of any amount. Promo code Awesemo.
That sounds pretty good.
Can't beat it. All right, I'm tapping out.
Okay.
Best of luck, everybody. Enjoy your holiday. We will have a show popping up shortly, looking at some NFL.
Nice.
And then Sunday, business as usual for the NFL coverage. Laffy and Ben on early Sunday morning, and then myself and Spags taking you up to lock. Ooh, and then Monday, no basketball, no anything. We will not be.
I got to figure out what I'm going to do in Mexico. I leave Tuesday morning for a week.
There you go.
I will either do some shows or not some shows. It depends if I can establish a decent connection and actually get all my research done and shit. But leaving for a week feels dirty. People tend to put poop in a bag and mail it to me. I don't want that to happen again. So I try to sneak in a couple shows.
Tuesday morning, Christmas morning. Come open up your presents. Get yourself a coffee. Sit down at the computer at 11 a.m. And we're going to do Live Before Lock from 11 to 12. Or sometime to 12.
I will be on a plane.
And we will be giving away a premium all-access annual subscription for 1 year. So like this video, comment, and just tell us Merry Christmas. And you get a chance to win both a month and a year. Best of luck, everybody. We are out of here.